The world itself appears to gleam, and rendered spotless, we can start afresh.
Right. If our newcomer can find one speck of dirt in this clinical room, I will personally eat my hat with a knife and fork.
I'm afraid we might have rather over-catered. I wasn't sure how many would be sitting down.
A simple afternoon tea with those of us who will become her closest colleagues. That's what we were told by Sister Julienne. She didn't want her to feel overwhelmed.
Welcome, Sister Veronica.
Well, it's a good thing I arrived feeling slightly peckish. What a tremendous amount of trouble you've gone to just for me.
Oh, it's always like this.
Oh, I almost forgot. Marmalade. All my own work. It is grapefruit, though, so I'm afraid it's out of bounds for anyone taking Nembutal.
Doubt you'll find anyone on that medication around this table.
My first foray into medicine was as a trainee dispensing chemist. I've kept a keen interest in pharmacy ever since. Although, of course, I seldom get the opportunity to work with Chinese medicine. Now the Lord has called me back to Blighty.
Sister Veronica was with the order in Hong Kong for 13 years.
So you must have worked with Mother Mildred?
I was well prepared for it. My father was a regimental sergeant major.
Can you sing?
I don't think you'll find me troubling the hit parade.
I do not refer to the performance of novelty songs. I refer to the liturgy, to the raising of our voices in praise.
We have been somewhat challenged musically, while Sister Monica Joan and I have been the only sisters in choir. Even though Mrs. Turner is kind enough to join us at Compline from time to time.
I remember your voice in the chapel at the Mother House.
I also shall light my candle. The Lord my God shall make my darkness to be light. For in thee I shall discomfort an host of men, and with the help of my God I shall leap over the wall.
We need everything in that toy box cleaned every week. And I am taking the cowboy hat completely out of circulation. It's my opening salvo in the war against nits.
I have good news, Sister. The GPO have agreed to install an additional telephone line as a matter of urgency.
Oh, that is marvellous. I can use the one on the main desk till then.
Sister Julienne will be first on call today. Nurse Robinson, I've put you on the midwifery roster with me. I've given you Greta Pickard and her...
Well, welcome, my little theater nerds. How are you guys doing tonight? It's been a lovely week. I gotta say, it's been so nice out. The weather's been great. There's been a lot of wonderful theater that I have actually gotten to see. I spent my day buying theater tickets. I'm going on Friday and Saturday night. Yeah, I'm not letting any grass grow under my feet. There's too much good community theater. We're here from the Sacramento Area Regional Theater Alliance to say good evening, folks, and welcome to This Week at the Theater for September 5th, 2023. We are into the thick of it. I can't wait to say it's fall. I know you're trying to sneak those pumpkin spice things in already, but we're not quite there. We still got a couple more weeks of this summertime thing left. although it's been raining, you know, global warming, it's changed everything. And that's okay, because I think some of it has changed for the better. It's pretty nice outside, so get out and enjoy some community theater. This is brought to you by the Sacramento Area Regional Theater Alliance. We are SARTA. Please visit us at our website, sarta.com, and check out what's going on. I keep hearing from people, well, I haven't heard anything from SARTA lately. What are they doing? Well, just because the Ellie program is no longer part of what we do, it doesn't mean we're not doing things. It doesn't mean that community theater isn't happening and amazing in our local area. So wait until you see the lineup that we have tonight. I've got some really cool things that are coming up that I want to tell you about. And we have a community conversation to share tonight too. So let's get started with all of this. In case you haven't checked out our website recently, we have revamped our membership program. A lot of our individual patrons and our member theaters are coming back and joining up with us again. We have a whole different package of benefits that come with that. So please check out the website. And if you feel so moved, subscribe now. Your monies are going to things like scholarship programs for our youth and education division, and to our very newly getting launched theater stipend support program that we've got going on. Yes, we want to monetarily be able to help some of our community theaters too. So we're setting aside monies for that, and we're doing fundraising for that. And I'll talk to you about some of our fundraising events that are coming up too. And hopefully you'll support us. You know, you can support us at any given time by just going to our website and clicking that donate button. We will love you. We will love you. Thank you so much. And if you're here with me on Twitch, there's a little heart button down there. Follow us, because every Tuesday night around this time, I jump in here and I start telling you all the cool things that are going on in community theater, and there's a lot. And, you know, you can be the first to find out. Put Twitch on your phone or on your computer, and you can hang out with me for an hour or so, and we'll talk about theater for a while. Speaking of fundraisers, we want you to stay tuned. This is sort of your save the date card, right? You get those for weddings and things like that. Well, this is your save the date card for Saturday, November 11th. This year, we're doing a second cabaret. If those of you who came to the first one, tell your friends, okay? Because we're doing it again. A lot of the same singers will be back to sing with us. We're so excited. This one's theme is going to be the best of Broadway. So if you love all those Broadway shows, all those Broadway tunes, if you've got other friends who are into musical theater, get them out of the house and ready to go. The tickets will be going on sale really soon for this. So stay tuned. Best of Broadway Cabaret, Saturday, November 11th. And I can tell you right now, we're having 2 shows. There'll be a matinee and an evening show. So if you think that there won't be room, we're going to try and make room, because our last one was sold out. We were thrilled. So thank you for being so supportive of this, and we hope you can come for this one too. This is the fundraiser that's coming up very soon. On the night of the 17th of September, we are having a fundraiser downtown, Midtown actually, at the Uli Theater. That's at 2700 28th Street. It's an amazing little theater down there. We're putting on a Tonight Starring. Now, we did one of these once before, and it was wonderful. People came and were thoroughly thrilled with it. This is a staged reading featuring Lindsay Ahern, Selena Bender, Sonny Crejo, Iris Garcia, and Kate Pratt. And they're doing Bull in a China Shop. And our community conversation a little later on is going to be with Chris Smith and the director, Sarah Barbulesco Lamb, talking about this show and what brought them around to doing this one. We are still taking ideas for another Tonight Starring. If there's a show that you've kind of always wanted to do, but you feel like, well, that part's not right for me, but I just love that part, well, we're going to give you a chance to do it. One night only. You are the star of that show. Tonight Starring could be you. So contact us with your ideas. Email us at the SARTA office. Let us know what you're thinking about. We'll put you in touch with our artistic director, Chris Smith, and we'll get you on stage for one night only. All right? Tickets are on sale right now for this event too. So if you want to go, now's the time to start getting your tickets. Bull in a China Shop by Brenna Turner, 7 o'clock, September 17th at the Uli Theater. Now let's look at some other special events that are coming up, because a lot of our community theaters are doing some really cool things right now and have got some really neat events coming up. So let's take a look. Well, it's that time. There's going to be an Oktoberfest, and it's going to be an Oktoberfest cabaret. Green Valley Theater Company, our kings and queens of the cabaret scene, are putting on an Oktoberfest cabaret, September 29th and 30th, and it's a full evening of music and dance and comedy. If you've been to any of their cabarets, you know how that goes. But this one's going to be even better because they've got German food and, as they put it, seasonal libations. I think there might be a beer or something in it for you. It's going to be wonderful. Dinner's going to start at 7 o'clock, and then the show starts at 8. Tickets are on sale right now. This is happening at the end of the month, so you're going to want to get your tickets soon for the Oktoberfest Cabaret put on by Green Valley Theater Company. I can't wait for this. This ought to be great. Celebration Arts is having a wonderful special event time. They are putting on dance production called Embodied Knowledge, a dance concert. This is directed by Nicole Maneker, and it's going to be on September 23rd at 7 p.m. over at Celebration Arts. If you love dance and movement, then you need to go and see this show. Embodied Knowledge, a dance concert at Celebration Arts. And if you don't want to dance, maybe you want to see something that's funny. So we've got several comedy shows to tell you about, and this is just the first one. Celebration Arts is going to have a comedy night on Sunday, September 24th at 7 o'clock. They've got $25 tickets, but if you want the VIP treatment, you can get the $35 VIP package, which includes a complimentary drink and a ticket to an upcoming Celebration Arts production. So for $35, you go see the show, you get drinks, and another ticket to another show. That's a pretty good deal. That's a pretty darn good deal. This is going to be hosted by Tyler D. You need to go and see this comedy night at Celebration Arts. It'll be wonderful. And if that wasn't funny enough, the Funny Business show is going to go on, the late night comedy show at the Uli Theater. I was just telling you about the Uli Theater. This one's going to be on September 9th, so it's coming up this week. So you better get your tickets now. Tickets are only $20, or you can watch the live stream of this from home for $12. So if you want to get some friends together at your house and watch a comedy show, you could do that too. Live stream it or go see it in person. Late night comedy at the Uli Theater on September 9th. The show starts at 10:30 in the evening. It's called Funny Business. The headliner is Johnny Taylor, and they're going to have lots of other people there with them. Again, this is at 2007 28th Street, the Uli Theater in Midtown. It's going to be fun. Tickets are available right now. Here's another production that's coming up also at the Uli Theater. Are you getting the idea that the Uli Theater is a busy place? Well, it is. That's one of the hardest working theater crowds over there I have ever seen. And this is another one. EMH Productions and the Uli Theater is presenting Lights, Camera, Action, a tribute to the movie musical featuring the Prism Theater Troupe. If some of these people look familiar, you may have seen them at a previous cabaret that they did there. It was called Miscast Cabaret. You may have seen them, I don't know, at our spring cabaret, because some of these same amazing performers sang for us and are coming back to sing for us again at our Best of Broadway cabaret. So if you want a little preview of what you'll get in November, you can go see them this weekend. So September 8th, September 9th, September 10th. you can go and see this wonderful show. I already have my tickets. Thank you very much. I'm going on Friday night, as a matter of fact, to see this show because it's going to be outstanding. So September 8th at 7:30, September 9th at 7:30, September 10th at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Presented by EMH Production, Artist Collective. You know you want to go hear the music. It's going to be great. This, I thought, was just too special not to share it with you. I know Sutter Street Theater is always known for their productions, a lot of children's productions, some of the main stage shows, adult productions. But did you know that they do a story time? The first Saturday of every month at 11 o'clock, you can go down to Sutter Street Theater, which is in historic Old Folsom. It's the sweetest, quaintest little theater you ever want to go to. And different storybooks will be read aloud by the actors. They're going to do this. And here's the cool part. This is free. This is a free event. Bring the kids, or just come yourself, to hear some great stories. And this time, those stories are going to be Saturday by Ogimura. And we don't eat our classmates. I really want to hear that one. We don't eat our classmates. Sutter Street, story time, 11 o'clock on Saturday. You should go. You should get your kids together and go. That would be wonderful. Sutter Street is also doing their old time radio show. I've talked to you guys about these before. They're quite fun. You get sort of the backstage look at what you would listen to on the radio. You know, back in the old days, kids, we didn't have the TVs and the computer things and the video stuff. We had a radio. And I say that like I knew. I was born in the television age too, so I don't remember that, right? But they tell me, that you used to have to listen to the radio for entertainment, and families would gather around the radio and listen to these wonderful radio shows. Some of them were dramas, some of them were mysteries, some of them were scary stories, some of them were absolute comedies, and they would do all the sound effects, and they'd have music in the background, and they would have commercials. That was the original soap operas, right? Because they'd advertise the laundry powder in between the different acts of the show. So this time, it's going to be on September 9th. So that's coming up this weekend also. At 4 o'clock in the afternoon, Sutter Street Theater. It's only $10. $10. Such a deal. You get an afternoon of entertainment. Go see this and then go to dinner somewhere on Sutter Street. It'll be wonderful. You can make a whole evening of it. And it's still early enough, you know? So it's going to be radio programs and songs of the 1940s and 50s. So this month they're doing Fibber McGee and Molly, the Abandoned Jalopy, which had an original air date of March 27th, 1948. I know. That was before any of us were here, right? But they were doing radio. Then they're going to do the Bickersons. And the title of this production of the Bickersons is John's Will. I can imagine that's going to be funny to have them talking about. The original air date of that was January 10th of 1948. And then, for all you folks out there who are mystery lovers, they're going to do the adventures of Sam Spade. He was a detective type. Humphrey Bogart used to play this guy, Sam Spade. The Hot 100 Grand Caper. Woo. So we'll find out when that one is. The original air date was September 19th, 1948. So all of these are from the 1940s. With Johnny Wilder on piano and period songs sung by the cast. They welcome you to come and ask about their traveling shows. Old time radio show at Sutter Street Theater. This is going to be fun. This is happening at Miners Foundry. Sierra Stages is presenting a show called The Revolutionists. One night only. It's going to be on September 13th. So if you don't get tickets for that night, you're not going to see it again. But this is Heads Are Lost when Marie Antoinette, the assassin Charlotte Corday, and playwright Olympia de Gauche, and the freedom fighter Marianne Angel struggle to beat back the extremist insanity in Paris of 1973. Written by the award-winning playwright Lauren Gunderson. It's a smart script that looks at what it means to be an artist during a time of revolution. Revolutionist is running one night only, Wednesday, September 13th, Miners Foundry, downtown Nevada City. So if you want to see this show, you better get your tickets now. I'm sure once they're gone, they're gone. They're not putting another show in. One night only. Get your tickets. Empire Arts Collective is presenting its Tiny Stage Big Talent Variety Show. September 30th at 8 p.m. over at the Sierra 2 Center. This is over on 24th Street, just off Broadway. It's a great facility. If you've ever been over there for things, it's a marvelous space. It's in room 13, which is on the second floor, but it is fully accessible because they have elevators and things. They're calling for performers to submit what they might like to do if they want to be on here, because it's going to be a talent show. The deadline for your submission is September 18th. So you still got a little time to think about it. But if there's something that you want to do, that you want to submit for the Tiny Stage Big Talent Variety Show, you better get in touch with Empire Arts right now. EmpireArtsCollective.org. I put this in a second time so that you could have it again put onto your calendar. Tonight's Starring is coming up on the 17th at 7 p.m. at the Uli Theater. This is inspired, the show, Bull in a China Shop, is inspired by real letters between Mary Woolley and Jeanette Marks spanning from 1899 to 1937. So it's another period piece. This fast-paced comedy asks, what is revolution? What does it mean to be at odds with the world? And how do we fulfill our potential? And how the hell do we grow old together? It's a unique staged reading by our amazing cast. We have had them on before because they did a show called Collective Rage, a play in 5 Bettys, and they were the ones who actually brought us this particular script and said, we want to do this show. And we looked at each other and said, oh okay, let's put it on. Let's do a fundraiser for SARTA. To help us out, to put some money together for the theater stipend program, and we'll do this one. So we're going to have the show. We're going to probably have a few silent auction baskets there for different things. I'm sure there'll be wine and other fun stuff. So come and enjoy the show. Help us out by supporting your local nonprofit. Come and see Bull in a China Shop on September 17th. Winters Theater Company is doing along with the Friends of the Library, can't leave them out, right? It's called a Lit Fest, Storytelling and Poetry. It's on Friday, October 13th. Yeah, we're segueing into October now. You know it's coming. And it's going to be at the Margaret Parsons Room at the Winters Public Library in Winters, California. So submissions, they're asking you to submit a story between 4 and 8 minutes in length as you perform it, or a poem no longer than 4 minutes in length as it's performed. And the cost of the submission is free. They just like to get some writers and poets and folks in there. You have to be 16 years or older to submit, and the guidelines are at winterstheater.org/litfest, or I'm sure you can go to the Winters Theater website and check it out also. Litfest, storytelling and poetry up in Winters. Freefall Stage is hosting a paint party and dinner on October 14th, and it's a fundraiser for them. You can get your tickets for the paint party and dinner for theater lovers. Tickets are only $39, and you get the paint, you get all your supplies and the instruction, you get dinner and dessert. So if you want to do this, it sounds like maybe a great date night out, contact Freefall Stage at freefallstage.com. or at the phone number on the screen, and let them know you want to go to the paint party and dinner and see how it is. Whew, that was a lot of special events coming up. So you should be able to fill up your calendar pretty well with that. But you need to get those headshots and resumes together, because we've got a few auditions. Not a lot right now, but we've got a few auditions. You know it's probably going to happen. Sorry, I'm messing with my camera because I want to bring it down just a little bit. There we are. We're going to have all of the December shows that'll be coming up pretty quick. So I'm anticipating we're going to get some more auditions here pretty fast into the hopper, because some of our classic Christmas shows haven't been posted yet. So I'm looking out for those. We got to get some Scrooge in here. Come on, you know it's got to happen. We've only had one for the Nutcracker, so we've still got some holiday mischief and mayhem to get into. So, we have a special audition call. I've been talking about this for a few weeks now, that the Woodland Opera House is doing School of Rock. They are trying to cast this so carefully. So listen carefully. If you know somebody who could fulfill this part, please, 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 let them know that Woodland Opera House is kind of looking for them, and let Woodland Opera House know maybe that you've got somebody you'd like to suggest. They're looking for a talented young BIPOC actress for the role of Tamika in their upcoming production of School of Rock. They have to be 14 years of age or younger to play 5th grade per the licensing agreement. So if you've got a 12 to 14 year old or even younger that's an amazing singer that can look like a 5th grader, that's what they're looking for. And it has the character breakdown. I put it all there. You can take a look at it, or hit pause and read it all if you want to. But rehearsals are going to start on September 24th. So it's really, really important that they get this cast as soon as like yesterday. So if you can do this for them, or you know somebody who can, tell them that there's a special audition out at Woodland Opera House for the show School of Rock. If you're interested in being considered for the role, they want you to submit a video of an audition song in a pop or R&B style with a headshot and a resume. Told you needed those headshots and resumes. And turn it all in to the folks at Woodland Opera House by September 10th. So they're really trying to close this up this weekend. So if you know anybody who can do this, let them know. Let them know that they can have an opportunity to be in School of Rock out at the Woodland Opera House. Another emergency audition. They always, you hold an audition, you hope you can cast everything, and sometimes you just don't get the right person for that last piece. Well, this happened with Free Fall Stage. They're having an emergency audition. They've already started rehearsals, but they're in need of one more male to join their cast. One more male to join their cast. This actor is going to play multiple roles. They can be between 20s and 20s and 40s in the age range. So, they're pretty flexible on that. If you think you would like to schedule audition, please email them at freefallstage, info@freefallstage.com. That's info@freefallstage.com. They're looking for one guy who can play multiple roles between the ages of 20 and 40. If this sounds like you, get in touch with them, okay? The Miracle Worker is being cast right now, tonight, September 5th, from 6:30 until 8:30 p.m. at the Winters Community Center Theater. And clearly, if you're here watching me, you're not there, but do not despair. They also have rehearsals tomorrow night on the 6th from 6:30 to 8:30, which is why I left this in here. If you didn't make it tonight, you can make it tomorrow night. The open roles are Helen Keller and James Keller and another boy and 3 young girls. So they're looking for our younger people, ages 10 to 12, someone in their teens to early 20s, ages 8 to 11. So if you've got some young people that have the acting bug who you think could work out with this and they want to apply for this show, audition for this show. It's not a job, it's a theater production, right? It's an audition. Then get them in touch with the folks at Winters Community Theater. Check out their website. I'm sure there's more information. The Miracle Worker. It's a wonderful story too. And it's a true story. So the children are going to learn about this amazing woman named Helen Keller. And her amazing tutor probably also along with that, named Anne Sullivan. Yeah. This audition is coming up next month in October, but it's for a show called Snow Falling on Cedars. This is by David Gutterson, and it's adapted by Kevin McKeon. This is being presented by the Community Asian Theater of the Sierras, which is CATS is their acronym, and they're looking for 13 male and female actors to portray 44 different roles. 7 of them are going to be principals, Asians to non-Asians, ages late 20s to 70s. Huge range, huge range. So if you think that this would be something you'd like to be involved with, it's going to be produced up at the Nevada Theater in Nevada City. Snow Falling on Cedars. October 8th, 9th, and 10th are the auditions. So I will keep bringing this back to you and reminding you of it. Woof! That was the auditions. Let's take a look at what's playing right now, because there's some great things playing right now. And there's a few of these that are closing this weekend. So if you've messed around and didn't get tickets to something, I'm going to tell you which ones are going to be your last chance, okay? All right. So here's one of your last chance ones. The Play That Goes Wrong is going to close this weekend. I have my tickets. Do you have your tickets? I'm going on Saturday. Yes. And they do still have tickets available. So get your tickets for The Play That Goes Wrong. If you like farce, if you like over-the-top comedy, this is probably for you, okay? I know it's for me. I wanted to see it the last time somebody did a run of it, and I missed it. And I almost missed it this time, and I remembered, I haven't got my tickets for The Play That Goes Wrong yet. So get out there and support community theater. Get your tickets for The Play That Goes Wrong, because it's closing this weekend. It's going to be it. That's it. Sutter Street Theater is doing a wonderful, touching, heartfelt show called On Golden Pond. And if you said, that sounds familiar, it's because it was a movie, and it was an award-winning movie, and it's an amazing story. So Sutter Street Theater is bringing that to the stage, directed by Janelle Kaufman and Stephen Kaufman. It's playing through September 24th, so you still have some time to see this. It's on Fridays and Saturdays at 7:30, and then again on Sundays at 4:30 on Golden Pond. Sutter Street is also bringing you Cinderella. This is adapted and directed by Laura Luke, and it's playing through September 24th also. On Saturdays and Sundays at 1 o'clock, and they're telling you it's rated family entertainment. We know this story. Come and see Cinderella. Chautauqua Playhouse has gone in an interesting direction. They're doing Dracula, a comedy of terrors. Let's get ourselves revved up and ready for the Halloween season by going to Chautauqua Playhouse and checking this out. It's on Fridays and Saturdays at 8 p.m. and then again on Sundays at 2. It's playing through September 24th, so you still have some time to get your tickets and get out there and see the show. A comedy of terrors at Chautauqua Playhouse. Go and see Dracula. Clyde's by Lynn Notage is directed by Anthony Dwan, and it was one of the 2022 Tony Award nominees for Best Play. This is its first time run here in Sacramento, so this is a kind of a big deal for us. It's playing at Capitol Stage through the 24th. So again, you still have some time to get your tickets for this. This is a comedy. It's got all sorts of things that are going on in their lives, and all sorts of revolves around people's stories about who is going into Clyde's Diner. So to September 24th, get your tickets for Clyde's at Capitol Stage. Oh, I'm going to tell you about Cinderella again. It's playing through September 23rd at 1 o'clock. I didn't tell you that part before. I should add that to it. This is the one at Sutter Street Theater, and it's a great tale, and it's a bit of an adaptation. So if you like to see, this tale will touch your heart and make you laugh. And so come see if a little magic can bring Cinderella and the prince together and make dreams come true. This will be a fun one. 1 o'clock on Saturdays and Sundays at Sutter Street Theater. All right, that's what's playing right now. But we got a few things that are coming up. I've been moving things around, and I have to remind myself, it's like today's the 5th. This doesn't open until this weekend. That's right. That's right, because it's going to be the weekend before we know it. I mean, tomorrow's Wednesday, and it's all kind of downhill from there, right? So let's look at what's coming soon. Starting on this weekend, it's going to open on the 9th. So I'll be moving this up into the now playing for you for next week. Placer Community Theater is presenting its production of Bus Stop. And they've got the cast up here for you. They're going to be performing at the General Gomez Arts and Events Center, 808 Lincoln Way up in Auburn, California. Go see Bus Stop. Yes, this sounds familiar because it was a movie also. Marilyn Monroe was in it. So this is not a new story, but it's a great story. Bus Stop. Davis Musical Theater Company is bringing its production of Something Rotten to the stage. This is, I always call it the anti-Shakespeare play because they kind of trash on Shakespeare a little bit here. It's playing from September 8th, so it's opening on, what would that be? Thursday? Friday. I can't tell dates all the time. It's opening on Friday. Yes, Friday the 8th. And it's playing through October 1st. So you've got plenty of time to get yourself in there for this. It's going to run most of September at the Gene Henderson Performing Arts Center out on Penna Drive in Davis. Davis Musical Theater production of Something Rotten. Placer Repertory Theater is putting together a classic called Uncle Vanya. It's only for 1 week in Rockland on September 8th and 9th. Again, that's this weekend. This weekend could get pretty busy for you if you go see all these different things. After that, Placer Reps Uncle Vanya is available for bookings throughout the region. So they're willing to take this show on the road, literally. Okay. So if you want to have Uncle Vanya in your area, you can contact them. Or if you just want to go see Uncle Vanya this weekend in Rockland, you can get your tickets now. They're on sale right now. Coming up also, starting on September 7th, so this one's going to open on Thursday, is Matilda the Musical Jr. It's playing at the Woodland Opera House on 2nd Street in Woodland from September 7th through the 10th, with performances on Thursday at 7, Friday at 7, Saturday at 2 and 7, and Sunday at 2. So it's a short run, but a powerful one for Matilda the Musical Jr. Here's our tribute to our musical group, the Cabaret. Again, I want to put it in here so you can calendar it. This is, again, happening this weekend only, the 8th, 9th, and 10th, so Friday, Saturday, Sunday. If you don't get a chance to see this particular Cabaret, Lights, Camera, Action, a tribute to the movie musical, then you will have missed it. You will have missed it, and that would be a shame because they are such talented performers and you want to go and see this show. So get your tickets now. Get your tickets now. Would we love to fill the house each night? That would be fabulous. So do this. It's presented by EMH Productions and the Artist Collective. You want to know and go to something fun? The show is called The Drowning Girls. It's going to be on Fridays and Saturdays at 7:30 p.m. and on Sundays at 2, starting on September 21st, so this is coming up, and playing through October 14th. It's going to be produced at St. Joseph's Cultural Center, 410 South Church Street in Grass Valley, California. Tickets are $20 to $30, and if you want more information, you can contact sierrastages.org to go see The Drowning Girls. I kind of love these pictures. Looks very eerie. I love the scary stories at this time of year. City Theater Sacramento City College is putting together its production of a classical myth about power, limits, and love, which is retold through its heroine's perspective in Eurydice. The City Theater is bringing Sarah Rule's Eurydice back to the stage, and it's opening on Friday, September 29th, so you've got plenty of time to get your tickets, and it will play through Sunday, October 15th, so into the middle of October for you. Performances will be at 7:30 on September 29th and 30th, and October 5th, 6th, 7th, 12th, and 13th. And 2 o'clock on October 1st, 8th, and 15th. So they're going to have some matinees in there too, if you want to, get home and get to bed early. They're at the Art Court Theater at City College. If you've never been there, it's really a lovely theater. $20 general admission, $15 for seniors and SARTA members. SARTA members get a discount. Are you a member yet? You should become a member. Militaries and veterans and persons with disabilities, and $10 for students, because after all, it's a community college and students are broke, right? Good grief. I remember how much that stuff used to feel like it cost so much. I can't afford it, right? I was talking to a student this weekend who was complaining about the price of textbooks and things like that. So, it's hard out there for those students. So they should get a break. Absolutely get a break. Tickets may be purchased online or in person 1 hour before the performance begins. And you can go to citytheater.net to get more information about their production of Eurydice. This one should be kind of amazing. I'm so proud of Celebration Arts for taking this one on. This is by George Stevens Jr. and it's directed by James Wheatley, who is just a legend in our town for African American theater. This is called Thurgood. Yes, it's about Thurgood Marshall, who was the first African American lawyer to end up on the Supreme Court. It's playing from September 29th through October 22nd. So you still have time to get your tickets from this. It's going to cover his early days as a civil rights lawyer who argued the landmark. And I kind of knew this, but I forgot it. And then I read it again and I went, oh yeah, he did. He argued the case of Brown versus the Board of Education, which led to school desegregation. For us, that's history, but this is the man who did that back in 1954. That led to the end of institutionalized segregation, at least in an overt manner, in schools. And then he was appointed to the highest court in the land, Supreme Court. They say that this is a fitting tribute to Thurgood Marshall's enduring legacy. So get your tickets and go see Thurgood. This one always holds a special place in my heart. I have loved the Rocky Horror Show for so long. I will share that I am old enough to have seen it when it first came out back in 1900 on the theaters, when nobody shouted anything and nobody threw things at the screen, and we all just sat there going, what the heck did we just watch? It was amazing, and it's been amazing for decades now, right? 50-some years of Rocky Horror. So, we can't let them down. Green Valley Theater Company has been known. They've been doing this for a decade and a half, putting on the Rocky Horror Show for us in October. It's going to be playing October 13th through the 29th downtown at Westminster Presbyterian Church. I don't know if they know what they're in for, but oh my goodness. So get your corsets and your fishnets out. It's time to see Rocky. Yes, you're going to do the time warp again. You must. So get your tickets soon. It'll be happening really quickly. Richard O'Brien's The Rocky Horror Show. Boy, we go from Rocky Horror to Pride and Prejudice. Man, that was a swing, wasn't it? Woof. But Venue Royal Stage Theater is presenting its production of Pride and Prejudice. This is produced by Free Fall Stage, and it's going to open on September 8th, this Friday, and it will play through September 24th. The venue, again, is the Royal Stage Theater out on Sunrise Boulevard in Citrus Heights. So get your tickets now. Go to the Free Fall Stage website and get your tickets for Pride and Prejudice. Lincoln Theater Company is bringing you its production of Fiddler on the Roof. This is going to open on September 15th, so we'll talk about it again next week also. And it'll play through October 1st, and it's going to be on Friday and Saturday evenings and Saturday and Sunday matinees at the Lincoln Civic Auditorium, 511 5th Street in Lincoln, California. Now, if you can get tickets for the opening night, they're going to have a champagne gala. And so they'll have what did they say? They'd have champagne and food and drink and things to come and enjoy the opening of Fiddler on the Roof. So that's going to start at 6 o'clock. So if you want to go to that, you really better get your tickets early, because I'm sure that part's going to sell out pretty darn fast. So if you don't care about going to the champagne one, you can get your tickets for later on, but you're going to want to get your tickets for the night of the 15th when they open, so you can go to the champagne gala and catered buffet. Come on. Oh, and then they're going to have dessert buffet at intermission. That sounds like a deal. That sounds like a whole date night right there. You know, it's like get your bestie and go see Fiddler on the Roof. It's going to be wonderful. Lincoln Theater Company. Volcano Theater Company is presenting its production of Blithe Spirit. It's going to open on September 15th and play through October 15th. Noel Coward was a classic playwright. This is one of his comedies. Too faint-hearted for a haunted house, but certainly entertainment fit for the fall. So if you like stories about fortune-telling and crazy misfortunes with spirits running around, you would probably love this. Tickets are on sale right now, so you can get your tickets for Blithe Spirit, playing up at the Volcano Theater Company. This one's going to be in their historic Cobblestone Theater, which is across the street from their really, really, really big amphitheater. They are celebrating 50 seasons. Yes, 50 seasons of doing theater up in Volcano. Wow. Now that's due diligence for a community theater company, and congratulations to Volcano, because that means that they've really got the community support to keep pulling that off. So proud of them. Roseville Theater Arts Academy is bringing its production of Footloose, the musical, to the stage starting on September 15th and running through September 23rd. On one of their productions on September 16th, they're going to have the American Sign Language interpreters there. So if you have somebody who needs that service, or you would just like to see what that looks like to watch the interpreters interpret the acting that's going on, sometimes that's more fun than watching the actors. It should be great. So tickets are on sale right now. You can go and see this. It's choreographed by Gerald Bolden. The one on September 16th is the ASL interpreted one, but you've got plenty to choose from the 15th, 16th, 17th, 22nd, and 23rd. Footloose, the musical, at Roseville Theater Arts Academy. That production of The Miracle Worker that's looking for people to come and audition, well, it's going to be playing November 10th, 11th, 12th, 17th, and 18th. And this, again, is at the Winters Theater Company. The Amazing Story of Anne Sullivan and Helen Keller, The Miracle Worker, by William Gibson, this November. So you can plan that far out. It's really not that far away. It really isn't. This is such a wonderful show. If you've never seen this as a theater production, I highly encourage you to get the movie and watch it. Sidney Poitier, Claudia McNeil, they got Best Actor and Best Actress for this, and then Best Direction by Lloyd Richards for A Raisin in the Sun by Lorraine Hansberry. It's just a wonderful classic drama, and one of the first plays written by a Black woman produced in Broadway in 1959. So a historic piece about a historic time period. Just wonderful. Just wonderful. A Raisin in the Sun. Winters Theater Company is presenting its 10-minute play festival. Now, am I advertising this early? Yes, I am. But this is something that you want to think about if you want to be a part of it. This is going to be in March of next year, and they're going to do a collection of 8 short plays by local playwrights. So if you want to be a part of this, go to the Winters Theater Company website and check out the information on the 10-minute play festival. Maybe you can get one of your productions into this festival. That would be wonderful. March 15th through the 17th and 22nd through the 24th. contact them, winterstheater.org. And to wrap up next year, well, we're well into next year. This is almost in the spring of next year. April and May of next year at Nevada Theater, Snow Falling on Cedars. You know that the auditions are coming up in October. Well, here's the actual production by Community Asian Theater of the Sierras that's coming up. And they've already got their call out for auditions, but you can put this in your books for when you want to go and see it next year. When they did this production before, and it's been about 10 years or so, I think, they got 3 nominations for Ellie's for this. It was so good. And they got the same director back, is what I'm told, who directed it last time. So I'm hoping that they bring that same energy that they brought before, and bring you this outstanding story, Snow Falling on Cedars. Woo! That was a lot. There's a lot of things coming. And like I said, we haven't even gotten all our Christmas shows in here yet. Because you know we got to have some Nutcracker and some Scrooge and things like that. But I'm sure those are coming. Those are coming too. So I'll have some more auditions and some more shows to talk to you about. Let's check out what's remaining in some of our season schedules and a few of our shows. We've got Pride and Prejudice is playing right now. This one is Free Fall Stage, so that's their September show. They're going to come back with a show called Help Me in October. You heard me ask for casting for that one. They're looking for folks. They have an emergency casting for that. And then they're going to wrap their season with Amelia Earhart. That should be a great one too, in November. So that's Free Fall Stage. Thank you, Free Fall Stage, for always letting us know what's coming up in your season. And they bring some wonderful, different shows to the stage. Davis Musical Theater Company is celebrating its 39th season of musicals, and these are some of the ones that are coming up. I just told you that this weekend Something Rotten is going to open, so that will be playing through October 1st at Davis Musical Theater Company, and then they're going to do Oklahoma, following up in January with Seussical the Musical. Then Fiddler on the Roof. See, another group is putting on Fiddler on the Roof out in Davis this time. Moving into the Woods, which is always a great classic. The music for that show is so much fun. And then finally wrapping up their season with The Little Mermaid next June and July. So you can get season tickets. And in fact, any of these theaters that we talk about, you should always contact them and ask them, do you do season tickets? Because it does a couple things. Number one, it guarantees the theater that they're going to have people in those seats. You know, we call it the butts in seats moment. We're going to get butts in seats. Number two, it guarantees you, the theater goer, that you've already got your season covered. You know what you're going to go and see. You know you're going to get, you know, amazing theater throughout the year, so you don't have to worry about it. And quite often, if you buy season tickets, you get them at a bit of a discount. So instead of paying $25 to $35 each time for a theater seat, if not more in some places, you might be getting it as low as, you know, maybe they're $20 for a ticket if you buy a season's worth of them ahead of time. So it helps the theaters know that they've got the income to keep bringing you these great shows. So ask about theaters, you know, seasons tickets for the theaters. Davis does them. And I happen to know that Woodland Opera House does them too. This is their main stage and family series for 23 and 24. They just finished SpongeBob the Musical. They'll be opening up Addams Family pretty soon here. And they've got School of Rock coming in November. That's the one I told you they needed that 14 years old or younger person to be able to sing with them. So they're still looking for that. So they've got a comedy coming up that is to be announced. They haven't told us what it is yet. So it's a big secret under wraps. So we're going to have to get back to them and ask them, so what are you doing? They'll be doing Disney's Descendants, the musical. If you've ever watched any of those shows or fallen along with that, these are like the kids of the villains, which is just too much fun all by itself. They're going to then have Damn Yankees playing next year, and they're going to finish out their year with Peter and the Starcatcher, which if you are a Peter Pan fan, you're going to love this show. Peter and the Starcatcher. So, wow, That's a lot that's coming down the pike for our different theater companies. And that's just 3. So, and again, check them out and find out, do you guys offer, season tickets for these different things? Because if they do, you could probably get them for a really good deal. Now, I promised you a community conversation, and I will never break my promise. We're going to talk with our artistic director for tonight's starring, Chris Smith, and our director, Sarah Barbalosco Lamb, and I hope I did not just massacre her name, who is directing Bull in a China Shop by Brenna Turner for our tonight's starring, which is going to be September 17th. We still have tickets available. Please contact us at SARTA to get those tickets for this. This is a fundraiser, and if you don't want to go to the show, you can make a donation. We'll take that too, which will be great. So give me a moment to switch things around here, and I'll bring you back our interview with Chris and Sarah regarding Bull in a China Shop. Hang on a second. Hi, everyone, and welcome to another community conversation. It's featuring folks who are coming to us to talk about tonight's starring, which is a program that our wonderful artistic director, Chris Smith, has come up with, and SARTA is sponsoring. This is the Sacramento Area Regional Theater Alliance, and we are so happy to have Chris and Sarah here with us tonight. Chris Smith has been in a number of shows, is a writer, is an actor, has done directing, and Sarah Barbalesco Lamb comes to us. She's a teacher, so we're bonding over the teacher thing. And she is actually a theater person, also teaches a number of different courses in her real world job. So we're going to talk about all those things tonight and our upcoming Tonight Starring, which is going to be premiering one night only, September 17th at the Uli Theater. And we'll have more about that in our the last part of our show. We'll talk to you again about that so you can get your tickets, which are, by the way, on sale now. So Chris, welcome. Sarah, welcome. I'm so glad you could both be here with us tonight. And Chris, I want to start with you if we can and have you introduce yourself, give us a little background, and then talk a little bit about the concept of tonight's starring.
You got it. Thank you, Iris. That was so well done. It's like you've done this before.
Once or twice.
So tonight's starring kind of came out of this idea of just back in college, after you've done a day of classes, scenes, rehearsals, probably 3 or 4 of them, the show, the scene in their director's class, the improv rehearsal, you get home and somebody runs downstairs with a script in their hand and goes, "We all have to read this right now, immediately, break out the Carlo Rossi." For those of you that have not gone to college and had very cheap wine, Carlo Rossi is the giant bottle of very cheap, gross wine. And there's something about that feeling that I've always loved, where people just love to do it and love to put themselves into new characters, feel through a script instead of just read it quietly by themselves, to get to know characters and to go, "Ooh, I want to play that one," or and then you could sit there and talk about it afterwards. And those are always the really great things. So taking from that sort of energy and that sort of feel, that love of just playing, thought, well, everybody has a dream role. Everybody wants to do this sort of thing. So why not come up with a program where we just do an easy staged read of somebody's favorite show, and we build it around that person. The Tonight Starring name came out of that idea of like the old movie posters, like Tennessee Williams, Cat on a Hot Tin Roof, tonight starring Elizabeth Taylor, right? So it's this show. It's about the actor getting to do their dream role. just for one time for the theater community. One of the nice things that we've been kind of aiming at and realizing is that there are some people who always get to do one type of role, and never get to do one that they've always wanted to try. Like somebody's very much a comedy actor, like Deborah was in the last one, and she wanted to do something where she could use her comedic chops, but play in a drama. And similarly, there are people who do dramas all the time and have never made anybody laugh on stage, even though they're hilarious. So they get the opportunity to do something like this. We also loved the idea of people who were too young or too old, who have aged out or haven't yet aged into a role, getting the opportunity to play something that they would never get cast in right now, but have a certain affinity for. And like this current one, and I'll let Sarah talk more about this, but this current one is that we like working together. We like this sort of content. We like this sort of show. We want to just see if it works. And as opposed to going in and funding an entire show, having to do the rehearsal schedule, the wardrobe, hire the various tech people, we can just take a swing at it, see how everybody feels, and then move on to the next step.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I love it. When you brought this concept to SARTA, we thought it was a wonderful idea, which is why we want to keep sponsoring these. And I'm so glad that what inspired you to ask Sarah to direct this one?
But this is a very specific realm, and I'm going to go with Denzel Washington on this one. One moment.
Always a good choice.
So this is very much a women in the LGBTQ plus space show, which said to me that you wanted someone who understood the culture. When I look back at one of the things that I learned is my language when dealing with group or entity specific work was a Denzel Washington quote when he was talking about directing Fences. And it just made sense to my brain. Somebody asked him, could a white director direct Fences? And he went, sure, but they won't do it in the same way of understanding the culture. It's like Martin Scorsese could do a great job, but Denzel Washington shouldn't be directing Goodfellas. Denzel Washington could direct Schindler's List, but it's a Steven Spielberg project. It's about the culture. So if you want the best representation, want to find the best connectivity, then you want someone who understands the culture in a way that I don't.
Absolutely.
And I really like Sarah.
Oh.
Well, there's always that.
That's always helpful.
I was laughing when you asked that question of Chris, because when he and I initially had a conversation about this, he reached out to me and was telling me all these, oh yeah, I really want to work with you on this, and telling me all these things. And then we got to the content of it, and I said, okay, Chris, so be honest, there's a piece of this that you're giving me this opportunity because I'm just like, pretty gay. That's part of the content, right? And he's like, yeah. I was like, okay, making sure we're on the same page here.
Right. And it's like, okay, I understand that conceptually. When you're looking at things, it's like, I could do that, but you might do a better job than me, because there's going to be the nuance that you're going to get that he won't get, I might not get.
Right.
But you've got it. So wonderful. Sarah, welcome aboard. We're so happy to have you as part of the team for doing this next tonight starring. The show is called Bull in a China Shop. Talk to us a little bit, without giving all the good stuff away. Talk to us a little bit about that, and what, what's your background in theater that brought you around to want to do this directing gig, other than the fact that Chris pestered you about it? Because I know that's part of it too.
I mean, he didn't have to pester me that much. I was just teasing him earlier. No, I love Chris. There's a mutual respect here and adoration between us, which I'm sure you can see. So, aw. But we could do that all night, back and forth. No, so I hadn't actually read the play before. Actually, I think, Chris, you hadn't either, right? When you approached me.
I think I was the last one. Yeah.
Right, you had been approached by the actors who were interested in this, and it seemed like most of them were interested in it by word of mouth and hearing about it, because when we had our first meeting, it turned out actually quite a few of them hadn't actually read it either. So we were all kind of going into this blind. But I found it interesting, like you mentioned. I really like the concept of what Chris is doing in general. I just kind of in general appreciate Chris's approach to theater, and that I've seen that he's really tried hard to step outside of kind of the box you were born into, as a white male director, actor, and noticing that there are other voices that need to be heard and other stories that need to be told. And I think that you have great respect for how you go about that and figuring out the right research and the right people to bring into it. So when Chris did ask me about this, I was of course interested because of the LGBT aspect, but also just the show in itself sounded interesting. It like you said, I don't want to break too many plot points in here, but it's generally about a couple that has an age difference. One was formerly the professor of the other, and they're a lesbian couple, and they are moving because the older one has been given an opportunity to be a president of a university. And so the younger one has to kind of make the choice to go along, even though it's not necessarily fitting her career goals. And so there's aspects in there of the relationship and the challenges that they face as one or the other is trying to meet what they actually want, not only for their career, but also for the women's movement at the time. And the different risks that they're willing to take, which I think are well represented based on their ages, because the older one isn't necessarily willing to be as balls out, as we would say, about it, and wants to kind of approach things in maybe a more eloquent way and more of a way that is within the lines, but still also presses the boundaries and goes into a direction that's forward moving, whereas younger is more willing to just really press for it. And so the older character is Woolsey, and the younger is Marks, or Wooly, sorry, Wooly and Marks. And so I thought that was really interesting to see the two different perspectives there. There's some other aspects there involving their relationship that I don't want to get into because it would be kind of giving away some spoilers in there. But generally, I found the story very sweet and also interesting because it does challenge, I guess, some of the perspectives that people do have from the outside of the community of what a lesbian relationship should look like or what a gay relationship should look like. There are aspects in there that I feel like the representation is good because it's not just a gay relationship that's basically a straight relationship with two women, which is what we see, I feel like, a lot of the time in mainstream media, because and I think there's an aspect of trying to draw in, your broad audience with that so that people can understand. But having the age difference in there, that is something that exists in the LGBT community, obviously elsewhere as well. Yeah, so and you asked about my theater background.
Yeah.
So I've been involved in theaters for as long as I could remember. When I was a child, I grew up next door to a couple that was essentially the foundation of the theater community in Sonoma, which is where I'm from. And so I was always in their shows as a child, being up on stage, doing magic shows, doing dancing, doing everything. And then as I went into high school, I've always been a writer as well, a storyteller and a writer. And so then as I was going through high school, I met a friend and we made a film together. And that was when I really realized that my area I wanted to go into was the area of directing and writing as opposed to the acting. I still enjoy that type of thing, but it's I always like to say I feel like I'm a good enough director that I know what good acting looks like, and that's why I don't act anymore. Because I can have fun with it, but there are people who are far more talented than me, and I want to work with them and make them look incredible on stage and tell these beautiful stories through their voices and allow them to do what they do well.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I haven't learned that lesson yet.
Yeah, you're still the everything man. You do all the things.
He does. He likes to do all the things.
I'm very special.
You are special.
I need more water.
Well, I appreciate that. Oh, I was just going to ask you a question. Go ahead, take a drink.
Thank you. Go ahead.
So one of the constructs behind tonight's starring is that we do these in different theater spaces. So our first one was over at Big Idea Theater. Share with us, where are we going to have this one, Chris?
All right. Yeah, this is over at Elise Hodges' The Uli Theater, home of the Artist Collective. That lovely little black box. The thing that I love about each theater space that we keep coming across is that they each have both their strong points and, of course, weak points for everything. But this one actually has AC now, which is great. But it's a focused, direct, intimate space. It is not wide where, like Big Idea or Cap Stage, where you are looking across potentially at other audience members. Everything is proscenium, direct focus. So everything is coming at you like a giant TV on stage, but also in person. But it's Elise has been, I call Elise the hardest working person in Sacramento theater, and I will stand by it. I could write essays on it, right?
Absolutely.
She was actually just trying to call me right now and didn't type her response right when I was like, I'm on this sort of thing. She's like, I'm just calling, it isn't urgent. As Elise likes to do. But I've always really appreciated the space, and especially after the revamp that they've done when Elise finally got the lease on it. Elise has the lease, where she's made it a beautiful little space. And I just love the innovation there that I don't see at a lot of other theaters, where she has cameras. We can't use them for this show, but since she does a lot of original work through the Artist Collective, and the rights aren't an issue, she can stream to anyone, anywhere for whatever the lower ticket price is to watch it streaming, like somebody be watching this on a screen right now.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
She does a lot of really interesting new work and really tries to give a voice to people who don't necessarily get it in other spaces. And she champions a lot of diverse work as well.
Yes, there's several new groups and companies that have gone through there. Another one that's coming up soon that's doing and different things. The Cabaret is coming up in another week, and then their next production is actually going to be Sweeney Todd. So
yep,
I'm excited for that too. So
Lisa's taking on a musical, and she's really excited about it and exhausted as anybody who's tackling a musical while running a theater is going to be as a director.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a great point that you make about their theater too, because they were one of the ones that was flexible enough and innovative enough to take their performances to live stream when some other theaters weren't doing that. They were actually doing things on live stream, just them in the theater, so that they could still get content out to folks during the dark times of the pandemic, when we couldn't sit with each other in a theater. So it's been so nice, and I know that has continued to be a successful piece of this. You're not going to get that for this show, no live stream. But
right, well, those rights are crazy.
Yeah, that costs a bit. But this is the wonderful thing about this. It's one night. It's an amazing event for one evening. You're gonna come, you're gonna enjoy it. It's gonna be wonderful. This is a fundraising event for SARTA. We appreciate people like Chris and Sarah who are willing to step up and share their time and their talent, their infinite amounts of talent with us to put on these productions. So I, for one, am looking forward to seeing Bull in a China Shop. It's been in my calendar for a while. Sarah, any last comments you want to make? Are you all in rehearsals yet, or?
So we're planning all of that out. I had the actors send me some video bits so I could see how they were and the different roles that they wanted to play. And I think that we have it nailed out with who's going to play who, and we're starting to put together our rehearsal schedule. But yeah, it should be a really fun run. I've never done anything quite like this before, where it was such a short timeline and then, more of a reading than it is an actual full performance. But we're gonna do our best to throw in as much, stage direction and acting and all of that we can into that little moment that we have. So yeah, I'm just really excited about it. I think it's gonna be a fun experience.
Wonderful. And Chris, do we have our next one plotted out yet?
Not waiting on someone to reach out and say, I desperately need to do this show. Or this whatever this show would be.
Okay. Well, you heard him, folks. If you've got a show that you're thinking about and you're going, I would really like to do that, please contact us, sarda.com. Hit us up and say, I was looking at that Tonight Starring thing and I think I have a show. We'll put you in touch with Chris. We'll make this happen. We would love to have you be a part of this unique theater experience that we're offering here in Sacramento. Again, thank you, Chris. Thank you, Sarah. I can't wait until the night of the show because it's going to be outstanding. And again, folks, those tickets are on sale now. So you can go ahead and get your tickets. So connect with us. You can do this. You'll get to meet all of these wonderful people there that night. I'll be there too, so you can say hi. And I appreciate you guys coming down for this community conversation. We're going to be playing this repeatedly, really letting people know. It's probably going to go up on the website too to let folks know this is coming up. So they better get their tickets. Sarah Barbalescu-Lamb and Chris Smith, thank you so much for joining us this evening for this community conversation. And thank you guys out there for joining us for this community conversation. We'll see you again. Have a great evening. Bye.
Bye.
Well, there you have it. Tonight starring Bull in a China Shop. Sarah and Chris were an absolute delight to chat with. And I hope that got you excited a little bit about coming to see the show. It's going to be a great show. Again, September 17th, 7 p.m. at the Uli Theater. One night only. Tonight starring a staged reading featuring Lindsay Ahern, Selena Bender, Sonny Creo, Iris Garcia, and Kate Pratt. We're excited about it. And it's a fundraiser for SARTA, so come and help us gather up those funds so we can keep doing more scholarships and theater stipends and figuring out other marvelous ways to help continue to support community theater. Because that's what we're here for. Let us publicize your program or your theater through SARTA. You can go to our website. Under shows and auditions, there's a form you can fill out, but give us all the information about what's going on. We will put it on our community calendar. So if anybody says, I wonder what's going on in theater this week, they can just go to the SARTA website and check out what's happening. We will put it in our newsletter, which goes out to over 1,000 people each week. We will put it here on Twitch and tell everybody about it because we love you. And we want to tell everybody about your amazing shows that you're doing. So, sarda.com, hit us up. Tell us about your shows. We'll publicize. Oh, by the way, did I mention that that's free? That's free. Okay. All right. If you have not done so, if you're still here, please hit the follow button and follow us here on Twitch. Every Tuesday night I get here and I do this and I bring you these community conversations and we're going to talk with cool people and, see what's going on at the theaters. We'd love to have you here when we're talking about this. You can follow us on Facebook. You can follow us on YouTube at SARTA Theaters. on both those platforms. And we always are reposting things, and sometimes people will drop things in on our Facebook page that they forgot to upload, and I try and go and grab them off of there so I can let people know what's going on. You don't think you can hide your stuff. We'll sort it out, buddy. We'll find you. Okay? So follow us in any of those social media spaces, and we'll say thank you in advance for doing that. I tell you guys this each week. I hope you'll do that. I'm going to 2 different plays this weekend. If you see me there, please say hi, because I'd like to see you at the theater. All right? Take care, everybody. All right, all you theater nerds, where are my theater nerds at? Have a great week. I'll be back again with the community conversation just to remind you of what's going on, okay? All right. Have a lovely, safe time. Bye, guys.